Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're on the phone with legal scholar and New York Times best-selling author Robert Bork. Right now, he's a distinguished fellow at the Hudson Institute in Washington. He was Solicitor General for nearly 4 years during the Nixon presidency. He was also a U.S. Appeals Court judge for the District of Columbia for 6 years, having been nominated by President Reagan. But his subsequent appointment to the U.S. Supreme Court by Mr. Reagan in 1987 was torpedoed by Senate liberals led by Ted Kennedy. Welcome to Newsmax, Judge Bork.
Thank you. Glad to be with you.
Barack Obama and Senate Democrats will now have complete control over all judicial appointments. What concerns you the most about that?
Well, I've listened to Barack Obama describe what kind of judge he wants. And the kind of judge he wants is a soft-hearted liberal who will legislate from the bench. He never mentions the meaning of the Constitution as it was originally understood or as it was intended. He talks about the personal qualities of judges as if they were politicians, maybe in his view they are, and how they should behave as politicians.
Obama may be able to nominate several Supreme Court justices. Are there any potential candidates that raise a red warning flag with you?
Well, not really yet. If we go by age, which isn't entirely safe, but if you go by age, the oldest ones, I guess, are the ones most likely to retire. John Paul Stevens, although he's in great shape, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, the thing about that is they're quite liberal, very liberal. They'll be replaced by liberals, and so the only change will be you'll get younger liberals. And it's not until you get to people like Scalia, Thomas, Alito, Roberts, and so forth, that the problem begins to arise, and I don't see that arising for some time.
Judge Bork, do you fear that Republicans won't hold together to filibuster the most liberal nominees? In other words, they won't draw a line in the sand?
Well, it's not just a filibuster. In the past, despite the fact that Democrats waged really bitter attacks on Republican nominees, when a Democratic nominee with a questionable record on judicial issues was nominated, the Republicans did not attack. They sort of fell over backwards and confirmed. No good. That's a better example of that than Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was a nice lady in many ways. I sat on the bench with her on the same court. But she had a record of really kind of radical statements.
And compare the treatment that she got from Orrin Hatch, then chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and likewise Stephen Breyer, compared the way they were treated with the way you were treated. It's quite a difference.
Oh, it's an enormous difference. They made nothing of the radical remarks that she had made. I think she was confirmed something like 93 to something or other.
Yeah. Judge Bork, what are the most important issues that you'd fear a liberal reversal on with this power shift?
Well, I'm afraid, in the first place, let me say, issues pop up all of a sudden. A lot of them you never anticipate. But I would think that same-sex marriage, homosexual marriage, is one that's likely to be ordered by the courts. Roe against Wade, abortion will not change. There's one other. They've been whittling away at the death penalty, although the death penalty is mentioned about 4 times in the Constitution as being allowed if certain procedures are followed. And it's up to the people to decide whether they want it or not. But this court has been whittling away at it without any warrant in the Constitution and without any warrant from the people. And I'm afraid they may just outlaw the death penalty altogether, which I think is not only bad judicial interpretation, but is likely to endanger lives.
All right, Judge, Eric Holder, President-elect Obama's choice to be Attorney General. Of course, he was involved in Bill Clinton's pardoning of Mark Rich, the only time in history a fugitive from justice has been pardoned. In your opinion, Eric Holder, good choice or bad?
Oh, I don't know. I suppose he may be adequate. I do hold the pardon against him because he not only followed orders from Clinton, but spent time. There's an apparatus in the Department of Justice to examine pardons and recommend. And Holder apparently kept the pardon away from that apparatus and sent it directly to the president. So it's a little bit of manipulation there in a bad cause that I didn't appreciate.
And finally, the Fourth Circuit in Richmond has 4 vacancies. Some analysts say it's crucial for conservatives to fight to keep those because of the importance of the cases in nature. What's your opinion? Do you agree with that?
Oh, yes. That's been a very good court, a very moderate court, but very sensible on matters of national security and intelligence gathering and so forth. And one of the really dismaying signs we have coming out of the Supreme Court is its willingness to interfere with the military. Now, when I say this, not as if that's an established practice. What they've been doing is overturning decisions made by the Supreme Court during World War II that showed deference to military judgment about matters of security. They've been overturning those and sort of interfering with the conduct of the war. I'm afraid that's a trend that is going to be hard to stop.
Do you think these terrorist suspects will wind up being tried here in the United States with ACLU lawyers?
I'm afraid so. I'm afraid that may happen. And you'll have people, commanders in the field will have to be gathering evidence while they're fighting.
We've been speaking with Judge Robert Bork. He has a new book out. It's called A Time to Speak. Thank you so much for joining us, Judge Bork, and good luck to you.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.